Hello, everybody.
Welcome to the live.
Welcome to the stream presided over by always the StreamYard.
Give your wings up.
Our prophet.
Throw that bread.
Beaks up for our boy. How's everyone doing?
Yeah, check in with the chat. I thought I saw Jimothy Snow there. You still around, Jimmy?
Jimothy?
Jimothy Snow, miss.
Live streaming on someone like us.
Yeah.
How'd you get over here without a car today?
Today's my P day. Ash let me borrow their car while they no longer live here.
Oh my god.
Until it's sold.
So you have a temporary car?
Temporary
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's cool.
Yeah. Very nice of them.
Raquel, I'm a never Mormon, but it's been one hell of a week for you guys. Hell of a few weeks, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Oof, yeah.
I'm sure everybody knows about the Michigan shooting, which terrible.
Yeah. It's like, what is it except for awful? Like, I think sometimes in the Mormon community, there can be this idea that obviously they don't care or that they like root for Mormonism's downfall, but there's truly nothing more horrifying than something like, and even though we're not Mormon, I know for me, it felt preaching is horrible to learn about, but despite not being Mormon anymore, just hearing that it was in an LDS chapel was very haunting.
Yeah.
In a more
not to be too semantic, but I guess my experience is I don't feel, I'm not a Latter-day Saint officially off the books, but I do like fit in the umbrella community of Mormon. Like it's always going to shape and impact my life. And I hate to see any kind of violence, and that has, expanding my circle of compassion has been part of my spiritual journey in and out of the Latter-day Saint Church. And so I don't feel any happiness at witnessing it. And and my heart just goes out to members of the church who are feeling scared. It's like, it sucks to feel scared and it sucks to see violence. And I feel that whether or not it's my community or somebody else's, whether it's like kids at school or, a few years ago, there was like an attack on the Amish, an attack on another Christian church, or an attack on a mosque or a synagogue or,
Charlie Kirk in Utah a few weeks ago, like also horrible and also feels very close to home because it was in Utah.
Yeah.
I actually wanted to read what Lindsay Hudson Park said about the shooting because I thought it was so brilliant and it captured my sort of niche, probably very shared, but it was just the perfect take in my opinion. So should I just read it?
Yeah.
I'll read the whole thing. She said, I sat through the day before responding because sometimes a sacred pause for me is the wisest response in the noise of it all. Today, I feel the grief of two losses pressing against one another, the tragedy of the Mormon murders in Michigan and my friends mourning the loss of their prophet. To me, the 101-year-old dying isn't really a tragedy. That one doesn't, I'm just being really emotionally affect me. But I also, I'm not like, I'll just keep reading. Sorry if I'm being. My heart is with the Michigan victims, their families, and everyone shaken and hurting. This murder happened in my own community. My family sat in church at the same time other families were being shot in theirs. This is terrifyingly close to home. And Charlie Kirk was shot in my state. It's been a heavy few weeks. All of us want to pass the blame, pass it and pass it again, as though blame itself could protect us from the terror. But I can feel how that only poisons the well. We think it lances the boil, but it is mimetic posturing, and to indulge it only deepens the wound. It's hard to do, though, when you're being targeted by a hate crime. The truth is we are all sitting in the sludge of rage algorithms. The ancient hatreds of humankind are being amplified like never before, churned through contempt machines that profit from our divisions. And in a very Mormon way, this feels like a test of who we are and who we will be in this moment. I can only answer for myself. These tragedies remind me again and again to be kinder, gentler, to practice peace and to practice discernment, to resist the easy performance of blame and instead choose the harder work of compassion, pluralism, and all the things that are especially challenging to embody right now. My heart is with the victims and their families. May those who grieve be comforted, And for myself, may I honor the best impulses of my heritage by becoming something better, by using this moment as a challenge to practice more peace, more gentleness, more discernment.
I love her.
Wasn't that perfect?
That was perfect.
She had us at mimetic posturing. But yeah, just oh God, I relate to that so hard. Just it's such a thing now that every time anything happens, everyone's just like, okay, immediately blame. And that's like
myself included.
Yeah, it's such an easy outlet for grief, but it doesn't actually process the grief. Like I appreciate how she also talked about the importance of a sacred pause, because I think there can be, there's so much pressure to just immediately weigh in, especially if you're any kind of public figure or content creator. But yeah, it's like all we can ever do or the most we can ever do in terms of like peace is like address the violence in our own hearts, which might sound just like saccharine and silly. But I do think it's true that like every single thing we say and do like has a knock-on effect. So like the more peace we can embody, even in tiny little interactions, like there's a reason that when you read, on Tyranny by Timothy Snyder, he talks about the importance of smiling at your neighbors and like having small talk, and like those things actually really do matter if we want to create a peaceful world, because that's how we like help others have nervous systems that can embody peace, because it's like violence is like the result of dysregulation. And yeah, just like brilliantly said by Lindsay.
Yeah, the mimetic posturing, I'm still like chewing on that, because it's so true. It's like all these things are calculated to keep us in like literal fear states.
Yeah.
Because those are good for business. Those are good for keeping our attention riveted to platforms.
Yeah.
And I have been like fully, like my system fully like hijacked and possessed by the algorithms of Mark Zuckerberg,
It's genuinely like anyone, even before social media, anyone who has ever wanted power over others, like the best way to do it, dysregulate them, make them afraid, put them in a state of overwhelm.
And it does have this mimetic effect that the more we feel that and embody that and maintain it, the more it gets projected to others and the more that they react that way to us. And it's just, it's trying to reflect on how I am posturing.
Yeah.
And I know I always need to be checking with that. Even watching our Provost Most Eligible, which is, all good fun. I'm like, I feel so mean. I just want to want everyone to know that I like.
We were really nice to all the girls. No, I watched the only thing where I thought you weren't even mean. It was fine. We're like, also, I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, it's just us. We're like such losers anyway. But the only part where I was like, oh, you were like a little bit, not even mean, but like meaner than I would be, was when you like kind of like made fun of one of the sales bros, and you're like, that's like your whole thing, and just like your voice. I was like, oh, but it really wasn't a big,
just
that's
trying to be.
Commentary YouTube is notoriously mean, and I feel like we do a good job not being as mean.
Trying to be, but
yeah, but that's good to. You kind of can't be on the internet, and it's good to be on if you're doing long form videos where you're unfortunately watching your own sort of candid comedy, because it's always about like pushing the line, and it's not like we're like performing a set that we've rehearsed. So you're gonna just try stuff sometimes, and it's gonna be.
I just watched a hilarious stand-up set special from a guy who's like, the battle of the comedian is like, what is appropriate and what's funny, and I will always choose what's funny. And I don't always choose what's funny. I've developed a little bit of a filter over the year, but there's still a lot that squeaks by.
Yeah. Marissa said, I think, P.S. by the way, we are accepting super chats, and you can also Venmo us if you want us to read a super chat, but you don't have YouTube super chat. So just letting you guys know. Marissa said, I think a lot of people think it's evil that drives these kinds of decisions, but it just seems like mental health help and education are so lacking. So what can we do as a society to help this? I feel like that's just what we talk about all the time, like evil, like the question of evil.
Yeah.
Evil is generally like kind of, I mean, it's like a useful shorthand when you're like, someone murdered innocent people, that's evil. Like, it's like,
But what led up to that? Was that a person who's like, I'm giving my soul to Satan today? No, it's like someone who thinks they're acting really good, who thinks they're against the most evil imaginable. And that's what justifies this kind of decision, right?
Yeah, and we really blind ourselves to solutions when we go along with these ideas, like Korihor on the Book of Mormon, perfect example, where we're just supposed to believe that he's this evil guy that was like, I knew I was doing evil the whole time, and I did it because I wanted to, and I knew it was wrong. But it's like that kind of framing, which is surprising how many people do have that framing still, that they just believe there's this moment where someone's like, should I be evil or good? And it's like, unfortunately, that's not how the human brain works. There's no free will, according to neuroscientists, are all the product of our genetics and experiences. And so, yeah, it is all about systems, and systems change. And so, yeah, that's why, again, I feel like coming back to that, how can I address the violence in my own heart, is so helpful, because then it's like, can have a knock-on effect, and all we can ever hope to do is plant seeds that have a useful knock-on effect.
Yeah.
I guess Mormon is cool to use again now. Interesting question. Yeah.
Is Mormon just a quick pivot. Cool to use again?
The idea that Mormon was a slur, such a pet thing of Russell M. Nelson. I'm like, is Dallin H. Oaks going to keep going with that? Or are we going to go back to I'm a Mormon campaign?
I'm a Mormon again.
Do you think they had like a bunch of I'm a Mormon like campaign material that just never got used because they were like, shit, we got to pivot.
Just trash it.
Or we're going to be on the chopping block.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Also, I realized a good nickname for me today, since I'm wearing my cords, my corduroy, is Cordahor.
My sister made an interesting point that RMN, Russell M. Nelson, potentially already recorded his talk for conference this weekend. If that's the case, they play it or no.
Oh, interesting.
Ooh, maybe
they might.
They might do like, here's the last message.
Yeah, or maybe they do it during his funeral. We'll see.
Oh God, it's gonna be so annoying in Salt Lake when he has his funeral.
Yeah.
I hate to make this about me, but just the traffic when they have a regular thing is just crazy. Sometimes living close to the Mormons is a bit like.
Speaking of evil and the scales of evil, I don't know. I go back and forth of like diving into the shadows of Mormonism and religion. And I also pluralistically, non-dualistically hold the good as well, and the earnestness of members and things like that. And while there are like so many things that are so harmful about the Latter-day Saint Church, it is like a pretty decent one to leave. We've said that one before.
Oh, I spent 11 hours of my week listening to John DeLynne's episode with Claire and Mark Hadley, who left Scientology, and I had never been more grateful to have only had to leave the Mormon church. All I had to do was lose like half my friends from college and just like go through white hot terror for years and, complete nihilism, blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, compared to Scientology, we got it good.
Yeah. And I don't want to it's cool that Russell Nelson actually added to the corpus of knowledge of hearts and heart surgery.
Yeah,
that's cool. All the other stuff was unfortunate, but he's somebody's grandpa, and he was sitting on a couple $100 billion and still just picking on queer people and trans people.
Was he?
And
but
benefiting from investment in weaponry, shall we say, shorthand. So yeah, there's a lot there, but I don't think he's the worst person in the world.
No,
and
he's not a David Miscavige.
Yeah, and even David Miscavige is probably not the worst person in the world, but scary. I would not want to.
I don't want to say too much on the internet, but you might.
Yeah, that was my blanket cover to stay out of the.
I'm always like, does this person in a prominent position, do they have empathy? I'm like, Russell M. Nelson probably possesses empathy.
Yeah, definitely. I think so, and I think most Mormons do.
Yeah, generally the Mormon prophets. I don't think Brigham Young possessed empathy. Some of them are sociopaths, like that. And Brigham Young is the David Miscavige of Mormonism, so that makes sense, the person who wants to seize power after the main guy dies. But I'm like, I feel like Mormonism does all right compared to some.
Yeah. They, as far as I know, don't to this day aggressively pursue detractors and critics the way that other
Though we might be on a watch list, according to what John was saying in that episode.
Yeah, well, we already saw that we were on the church's like top 10 most public enemies.
But we've probably been taken off the watch list because even the like, they've got no work ethic. We don't have to worry about that.
Provost most eligible is like the worst thing that hit Mormonism in 10 years. They're just like, this is the problem.
Yeah. Expect from new era of Mormonism. How old is Dallin H. Oaks? Is he a spring chicken of 80 something?
Yeah, he's got to be getting up there. By the way, the H is short for homophobe.
Dallin, he is 93. So he's got like 10 more years in him by Mormon prophet standard. Yeah, maybe. It is crazy how like good they are at living a long time. Like 101 is really impressive. I know he has like the best medical team, I'm sure, in the world, and that helps. But
yeah, he's got insurance, fully socialized by the church insurance.
Why does it say like likely to lead the LDS church? Like, is there any world
because there's this whole rigmarole about who it's going to be, but it's like always the same system.
Like technically the by common consent thing has to exist.
Yeah, and like they do have to like all sustain and vote, but they will all vote.
I wish it could be a vote and we could get Uchtdorf.
Yeah, that would be sick. Go back to the old ways. The Doctrine and Covenant says all things by common consent.
Also, not on a lighter note in terms of Mormon news, it is kind of crazy that the main that Taylor Frankie Paul was the new Bachelorette.
Sorry, I heard Frankie and I thought Ruby Frankie, and I was like, wow, they're really swinging.
They're really doing a wild card one there. No, Taylor Frankie Paul, the main person in the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives.
Is there a relation? Frankie, is there a Mormon connection there?
I think Frankie's like her, well, maybe it is like a maiden name or something.
Yeah, probably.
Or it's her middle name. I don't know.
Couldn't be a middle name. Actually, Frankie is a cute name for a girl.
OMG, harvest snaps. I just want snack companies to like send us treats.
I know. Speaking of, as I was watching Mormon, one of the things that I noticed about me was when we were talking about, I said like, or one of us said, the thing in Mormonism, you got to find like a person who hates themselves as equally.
Yeah.
And then I remember.
And I stand by that.
Yeah. But then I was thinking about, is it Stephen Miller? Shouldn't say his name. I shouldn't say anyone's name online.
Yeah.
Just come up with clever
nicknames.
He's
like the head of the immigration stuff.
Yeah. Without going too much into it, he made a statement, and this is like a common rhetoric of the alt-right, is that like, liberalism and left-wingedness and their ilk, our ilk, is just a bunch of self-hating single cat moms who or a Charlie Kirk line of they use birth control and then it makes them miserable and resentful, and then they hate the world and just demand from the world what they would be fulfilled in if they would just be submissive, breedable women and mothers.
It's like we are still being submissive.
And that's why they become Democrats. It's because they're angry and resentful and they hate themselves. And I was thinking about that term, like, it's so sad that you think that because somebody like wears clothes that are different than you, they hate themselves, or they medically transition, that they hate themselves. It's like people do a lot of things. Like, I guess there's this idea that it's like, if you just really loved yourself, you would be the way that I want you to be, and you would dress how I want you to dress, and you would do to your body the things that I would do to your body. Nevertheless, never mind that like there are other things like breast augmentation, other like gender affirming care that I'm like happy to see women do, and I'm not being like, hey, if you really loved yourself, you would just keep your natural, your naturals. It's like he probably doesn't care about that, or even like any kind of surgery, right? Like you get LASIK, and it's like, if you just loved yourself, you would just settle for the eyesight that God gave you. Like if God wanted you to have better vision, then you would just do that. Why would you get your appendix out? Just be happy with the appendix that God gave you. It's like, where do you draw that line? And who are you to draw that line? And isn't living in a free country all about being able to like make those decisions for yourself without state persecution? And yeah, so
you're gonna get put on a watch list for this.
I know. I told you it was all right here under the surface. But yeah, so then I was thinking about how, me making that comment to Mormons, how does that make them feel, like hating themselves? And maybe it's hard to see, but I can speak from my own experience. It was like there was literally unintegrated parts of myself that I was conditioned to shame and feel, even feelings that I was conditioned to be ashamed of. And
yeah, and to defend my comment when I said like so much of Mormon dating is about finding a person who hates themselves the same amount of you, I feel like maybe Mormons wouldn't say it quite like that, but even within Mormonism, most people would admit that there are people who are too self-shaming or too shaming of, you know, most people in Mormonism are somewhere along the spectrum, and they can still see people on the more extreme ends as like,
there's always someone more extreme.
Yeah, so I don't necessarily think even Mormons would disagree with that sentiment, you know? They just maybe wouldn't use the phrasing of like hate yourself. They'd just be like strictness or...
I guess, I wasn't bringing that up so much as to be like, we made a bad thing, but it was just like an opportunity for me to reflect on like the way, the mimetic way that language postures us, and always trying to, be conscious of the way that I speak and trying to improve, even though it is what it is.
Yeah. My body is a machine that turns normal human experiences into shame. Anyone relate?
I just saw that there's like a scene in 30 Rock where Jack Donaghy was talking about like his Catholic guilt, and it's like, I don't deal with any of that, and then like grabs a fork and is like, stabs it.
If you just got here, we are taking super chats via super chat and Venmo.
We have also Sam's divination deck, and I have brought today the traditional
tarot
Rider-Waite tarot deck. So pick your poison.
Should we do a reading for everyone?
Yeah,
you can be our.
Yeah, all right.
And you kind of do it just based on vibes. You're like an advanced tarot reader compared to me. I just go by the book.
Oh, I made a promise to myself that I would chew further away from the mic because at least one person was like, that's too much for me. So I was like, if it's too much for one, it's too much for all, except for the sickos who love to hear it. Yeah.
Yeah, someone left a comment saying they couldn't listen because of the crunching. And I was like, I totally get that. I'm so sorry. But I also want to eat crisps on the internet. That's my dream. I do think Uchtdorf was demoted because he's kind of liberal.
Oh, for sure. 100%. Same thing that happened to Hubie Brown, who was only like Canadian liberal. He's still, he was like a Canadian Republican, which is basically a socialist.
Ooh. What is this? The 8 of Cups? I can't tell.
The 8 of Cups. Shall we show them?
Hey, I bought tarot cards like a year ago and forgot about them. Wanted to experiment being a heathen. Time to get in.
Sorry, I'm messing with things here. See my own.
I love your commitment to showing the card in detail.
I think it's nice. It's nice to know. Sometimes this is just a little too small. Yeah. 8 of Cups. We got cups are like, and liquid, fluid in the tarot usually signifies something to deal with emotions and are the world of feeling. And so we have these like 8 empty cups, and we see this person walking away toward water. So it has kind of like a forlorn look.
Walking away.
The moon is kind of looks kind of sad. Yeah. So it's like leaving these cups behind, maybe in search of something else, the fount of emotion, rather than these empty vessels that for whatever reason maybe have provided everything that they need to provide, or maybe were incapable of holding everything that needed to be held, and maybe they were bitter cups that had to be drank before the next phase of the journey. And I would say maybe that's kind of has been the feel for me of late, and maybe kind of the tone where we've set in the beginning of the stream. And it's like, okay, I've been holding a lot, drinking a lot, and off on a new quest. The moon and the nighttime of it all is also that like feeling, feminine.
Can I read what this says about the Eight of Cups on labyrinthos.co/blog? In the Eight of Cups, we are confronted with the moment of transition. Watch list. We see a cloaked figure taking off to a barren land, leaving behind 8 golden cups. He is tired of what those cups that he has spent so much time collecting. He is tired of what those cups that he has... This isn't perfect grammar. And is now setting out to seeking a higher purpose. It may be a result of boredom or unhappiness that comes with realizing that whatever they have been looking for in life isn't as pleasurable or as satisfying as they once assumed it would be. The person undertaking this journey might also signify seeking excitement in the unknown. The mountainous barren lands that he sets off to can also be symbols of facing new challenges. Their stark emptiness seems to indicate that they are waiting for one to come and shape the... period. Sentence just ends there. The journey that is taken can be done in the guise of trying out new things that have the potential to help one grow, both mentally as well as spiritually. It shows the willingness to detach oneself from others so that one can work on self-improvement, self-understanding, and growth. That feels relatable in my community right now. And yeah, like the barrenness, that's the nothingness. Emptiness is the space that contains everything, endless potential.
Yeah, and it might be kind of rough on the onset, right? It doesn't look like the bounteous, lush landscapes of other cards. It's like you probably got to pass through some rocky terrain before you get to the next phase of the journey. And that's okay. It's to be expected. It's how journeys go sometimes. Tyler Trismegistus. Love the last name. That's fun. I'm thinking about being Hermes this winter, not that Hermes, but
you reading this
related. Yeah.
Yeah,
me too, Tanner. As a gay man, it was rough growing up in the mainstream church. Now that I'm Gnostic, knew by the name, I've thrown my internalized homophobia into the darkness where it belongs.
Beautiful. Well, outside of all the goings on in the world, how are you doing personally?
Outside of that,
creatively, spiritually?
Doing well. Working on an album still.
Sounding amazing from what I've heard so far.
Thank you. So that's fun. My partner just moved to New York, so I'm an empty nester.
Oh, and you're going to New York in like November or something?
Not that we were ever nested, but you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna be there for Halloween, so that'll be fun.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Cool. Sad for me, but cool.
Yeah, maybe I'll be Hermes on rollerblades in New York City.
Lovely.
Yeah. You cannot publicly say your Halloween costume, huh?
I cannot publicly say my Halloween costume
at this time.
Yeah, because of the wishes of my designer.
God.
God. Yep. What are you guys being for Halloween? What else is there to catch up on and talk about?
I mean, I could talk about the thing we're not supposed to talk about for the next hour and a half.
Which you obviously won't be doing.
Kind of weird times we live in, huh? I guess I've been, it's scary that it doesn't, like I said, I've been trying to take a moment to be like, okay, like what am I putting out to the world? How can I show up not just for people who look like me, agree with me, but for like a wider sense of community? How am I building bridges? How am I reaching people? Because it's like, it feels like we need that big time.
Mm-hmm.
But it also feels totally outside of control of that. Like, it just seems like chaos is so much bigger and far-reaching and more prevalent than that. But maybe that's just the way that algorithms and the news want us to make us feel. But it does feel like, we as a people are kind of like experiencing like a kind of mass psychosis where, I mean, kind of like when you have a deconstruction break, and for a lot of people that's like traumatic, and you feel like this like internal civil war of like, what is real? Who am I? What do I believe in? Who's my people? Who actually hates me? What does that actually mean? What is, and you can feel really like genuinely insane. And some people like experience like psychotic breaks in that process, just because it's so much to deal with. And it feels like we as a society are experiencing that on like a mass level. And it seems like there's a huge prevalent resistance to meeting that with any amount of clarity or intelligence or compassion. And it's just like every opportunity is just used to like fan the flames, stoke the fire, poke the beasts. And that's really scary to me.
Like, we really have to be taking time for stillness. And just like, you don't have to be a meditator to have a sacred pause. Like, everyone's got their own ways of doing it, but hopefully everyone has like some kind of thing that they know to do, even if it's new. And if you don't, figure it out where you can just like clear your head and sort of calm your body enough to, because it's the whole rage machine is obviously running on like the constant frantic energy. And it's very easy when things are crazy to feel like how like I should be frantic, and that feeling of like, you know, I want to extend myself beyond just the people that are around me, and like you want to do something bigger to help. But I just think what we can do to help is only ever gonna like emerge from like doing what's within our control right now, keeping our minds and like hearts open to other things that we can do.
Yeah.
I will say that like I mean, there's no better antidote to social anxiety than times like these. Like, for me, I'm someone who's so like not averse to talking to people. I have my moments, but I'm more inclined to be like introverted. But lately I'm just like, if I go to the doctor and there's a nurse, or if I have a Lyft driver, like I'm asking them stuff. And it's crazy being, because I'm an immigrant, I feel like I'm often asking people like, oh, what visa do you have? Or like, I'm just like striking up conversations about it with people. And I'm like, how are you feeling? And like, I have been hearing a lot of interesting stories. It does kind of instill this sort of hope or confidence in you that like the people around you, even if they're different from you in certain ways, like they really are capable of reasonable conversation.
Yeah.
It does help the nervous system just engage with people however you can.
Yeah.
And meet them on whatever bridges you can.
Yeah. It is scary how, especially like with the new leadership of the church falling on a particular individual's shoulders, and just saw that thing going around about how they're like doubling down on trans rights equals religious persecution, and trans people are being
like terrorism, right?
Literally labeled a violent terrorist. Like, that is so scary to me. Like, every trans person I know is like, look at this thing I crafted, and the world who like refuses to know them or see them or acknowledge is like literally fear mongering and scapegoating. And it's like, that feels out of my control too. I'm not a trans person, and you know, the way that someone interacts with me is not necessarily how they'll be with them. And you know, maybe my little micro interactions don't make a difference for the people who are going to be, you know, facing the brunt. You know, trans people are more likely to be victims of assault and other crimes. And
you can't really say though that like like if you are a person who engages with the world with like tolerance and compassion, I don't know that you can ever, like, I know what you're saying.
The mimetic posturing of it all is
you crave
great.
Like a bigger sort of payoff. You want to do more, and that is like good. But also it, like, everyone does sort of emit an energy that is either peaceful and inspiring of sort of good things, or stressful, you know, like, yeah. And it's like, we really do have to kind of develop a strong enough spiritual backbone right now to be able to say, like, there are a lot of things outside our control. We do not know if the world's going to, you know, be blown up with nuclear weapons or climate. Like, there's just so many bad things that could happen that are outside of our control. And I'm not saying to develop acceptance to then like become passive, but like, we have to be like pretty fucking honest with ourselves about how little we can control. And you can't let the fact that you can't save the world, which like the American psyche especially is very primed to feel like it needs to do like big world saving things. which can be really beautiful. I can love that about Americans.
But the shadow side is related to the violence
Yes.
and to the feeling like I have to stop this great evil. I need to take matters into my own hands. I need to.
But I think we have to have sort of like the spiritual, if you want to call it that, humility to be like, yeah, maybe I can only have like this interaction with this stranger in this moment that's going to last a minute, and maybe I'll just make them feel slightly safer than a different person would. And like, it's frustrating that it can't be more, but there's like a sacredness in everything. And I think you got to like have that or you won't survive. Like you have to see the beauty in the small things or you don't survive.
I think it's good for people around here to have a nice conversation with a boy with earrings, maybe in a skirt. Oh, remember that little girl at the airport in Iceland? She was like, I had a mask on, but I have my earrings in, and she goes, just this little girl in this like little fluorescent skirt. She's like, are you a boy or a girl? And I was like, I don't know if your parents are down with me doing a whole deal on gender right now, so I'll just take the easy route. Like, I'm a boy. And she goes, well, why do you have earrings? I was like, boys can have earrings too. And she was like, oh. And then her mom was like, yeah, boys can have earrings too. Don't they look nice? And I was like, oh. And then, it was just like a sweet little interaction. I was like, oh, that's so cute.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, whatever happens, like everything, like we sort of do ultimately experience things locally. And so despite the noble desire to have an impact beyond the local, I think that desire to have an impact beyond the local can often stop us from being useful locally. Like it's like we just get so overwhelmed by how powerless we feel because we can't stop this giant machine that is so much bigger than us. But then it's easy to not try and like, I don't know, like I just so deeply respect like the people that put up a tiny library in front of their houses, or just there's stuff that people are doing and that we can do. And I think we just got to keep our minds and hearts open to, Yeah.
The little things help us endure and embed. Is that a word? The big things?
Yeah. It's kind of like the Robin Wall Kimmerer braiding sweetgrass thing, or at least what I took away from that book, which is like, even if climate change is going to just ravage this planet and like the powers that be are not going to stop it, and it's just, going to kind of take us all out, or at least those of us who aren't super wealthy, that's still not a good enough reason to not recycle. If you can, like, it doesn't have to be recycling, but you know what I mean? Like it's sort of like spiritually important just for us individually to show care to the earth, even if the earth is doomed. And that's kind of my mindset right now with everything, is you can't let that sense of it's like, even if you knew everything was going to completely go to shit, it's just going to be a horrifying ending for it's like, that's still not a reason to, the care still matters. Like every act of care matters, I guess, is my point.
There is 2,000 years of inertia behind the apocalyptic, the idea of apocalypse, and probably even before then. Like I bet in other religions, and we talked about this last time, that other religions do have versions of it. And I'm sure humans have felt just really doomed for a long time, I
mean, it is very true that now the ability for us to destroy ourselves is way different.
Yeah, and we're we're exposed to way more information than our little monkey brains were ever ready to handle.
And there are some things that can happen that would be kind of like a total wipeout event, like, Yellowstone erupting, or like nuclear war. But it's like the quote,
the global flood.
Is it Terence McKenna, the quote that's like, the apocalypse has already happened and is already happening in regions of the world. Like realistically, it's like percentages of humans might get wiped out, but like humanity will keep rolling forward and morphing, and maybe it will just get increasingly fucked up and we'll completely lose our roots totally and whatever. But like, I don't know. It's more likely that there won't be like a total wipeout event. And then so it's just like, for as long as you live, you got to live like a person who's alive, not like a person who's just like a sitting duck waiting for their death, because we're going to die anyway.
I want to dance all the way into the grave,
Yeah.
I've been in lots of temples. of various denominations and non-denominations.
Non-denom.
Non-denom. Phenom-denom. I've meditated on the tops of mountains for days at a time. I've done the vision quests and the all, various little things you can do. And I really just always, I walk away being like, the purpose of life is singing, dancing, and eating with your friends. Like, it is just probably as simple as that. And it's obviously there's a lot more that goes into getting there.
A book that really helped and continues to help me is A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle, if anyone wants a recommendation. It's a great,
2008 Oprah, are we?
It is 2008 Oprah, but it's timeless, formless. Yeah, that book has meant so much to me over the years. It's like probably the book I've reread the most.
How have super chat addicts like us gone this long without acknowledging? Or is that a gifted membership? Is that what
I think this is just a member, so their comments show up like a super chat. Oh my God, hi, okay. I would stay and watch, but I'm doing a group presentation over Zoom. Good luck with your group presentation.
Is this your group presentation over Zoom?
We're doing our group presentation too. And again, you can Venmo super chat us or regular super chat us, and we will read both out.
The purpose of existence is existence. I heard that in Alan Watts' voice.
Yep.
The purpose of existence is existence.
It's so
the purpose
true,
of dancing is the dance.
It's the dance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And God, I hate saying shit like this. Like, the revolution really is all about dancing. It's not, but also.
But it's not.
But it's not. Like, unclenching our bodies, getting back to ancient human ways of synthesizing, digesting emotion, and communicating with each other, and developing like kind of that group mind in that way, and
living for living's sake,
somatic release of it. Yeah,
because so much bullshit in the world is because it's like people are like, the ends justify the means, or the means justify. Yeah, the ends justify the means.
And they both justify each other in my mind.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, it really is true that like people that are able to like be deeply in the present moment and like live it for that moment, like that's all there ever truly is. This is so annoying to talk about because it is just like abstract and useless until it sort of clicks. But yeah, I don't know. It's like there's a power you have if you're able to just drop into the present moment through something like dance, and just for that little bit of time put the cares of the world aside. And yeah, we're not talking about like endless drunkenness or hedonism, but yeah.
And even if we were,
you really cannot blame a guy right now.
Did you see Weapons?
I watched it.
Did you watch
in
it?
Iceland.
Did you watch it all?
Yeah. Oh, I missed the beginning a little bit.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, why?
Did we talk about it? Just because it came back up in the Iceland group chat.
Yeah.
Then I had to, of course, relive all the terrible images of that movie. But
yeah,
also,
I really enjoyed that movie.
It was a really good movie.
Very frightening.
So scary. I'm such a tender little lamb.
Yeah.
And
only context I'd watch a horror movie in.
Yeah.
Also,
I have to be like surrounded
with a crush,
by good
I guess.
buddies.
They really wanted it.
Yeah. Okay.
Why were you bringing that up?
There was a point to it. Oh, I just love the way that it portrays collective grief and reactionary tendencies of people in the wake of violence and abuse and witchcraft.
Yeah.
Evil witchcraft, not the fun, cool kind.
Long journeys. I've really been trying hard to stop consuming as much and start creating, putting stuff out into the world instead of just taking. Yes. Yeah. That's another thing. I feel like so much of the problems in the world are because we've all had such comfortable lives in so many ways. And so it's very easy to just be like, oh, the world isn't what I want it to be. And it's like, how are you creating the world that you want to exist? Like, what's your vision for a better world? What are you doing to help create it?
30 Temu orders.
Not really though, right?
No.
You're not a Temu guy.
No. I think I ordered one thing once and it was like, ooh, that if I don't feel good. And it like broke instantly. So
wonderful.
Yeah. But boy, they have all kinds of gimmicks to really make you feel like you're shopping like a billionaire.
Oof.
Spin the wheel, and it's like, you just won $1,000 free of merchandise. Like, whoa.
If you just like spend 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty wild.
Amazing. A sacred pause.
A sacred pause.
You don't get those in other live streams.
Yeah, we used to give silent sermons, but people found it a little too preachy. So now we just do sacred
We don't
pauses.
even make eye contact.
Yeah. How was that? Did that feel better than
What'd you get out of that?
What did you learn? What did we communicate? How's everybody else doing? Holding up well? Are people from Utah here or elsewhere?
How has the Claymation podcast affected your lives?
I was going to ask when we're doing the next one, but I'm not even ready to ask the question.
I mean, I'll do it whenever, but
it's a lot of work for very little return. So once I catch
you
the
don't
bug,
have to make a set again.
I do have to though.
Do you?
I'm not going to do an AI set.
Even
I
though we
delight
did it
in
before?
making. Even though we did it before, I don't want to do it again. I wash my hands of it.
Then I guess it's up to you when we do it next.
Yeah, it'll just take. It's like got so many interests, so many projects, and it all cycles back. But
I've actually been feeling very like creatively back today. I've just been feeling so like not inspired or creative for a while.
The muse returns.
The what?
The muse returns.
The muse returns.
It's amusing.
Yeah, follow me on Substack. Become a paid Substack subscriber to read my terrible personal poetry. It's tea. Sorry if it was shilling to you. It's just that it's my job.
It's just that we have to.
It's just that the economy is so hard.
I heard they fixed it. I heard we don't have inflation or high prices anymore.
Oh, that's nice.
So take that to the bank.
This was like $9.
They're like $40 each.
Wait, it looks like you got a steal on these though, 36p.
Oh yeah, totally.
Amazing.
And I got them from Ash's house. So
brilliant. So even less.
Yeah. That's the free 36 cents I can spend on anything I want.
I don't really like this flavor. Tomato basil.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Beggars can't be choosers. And you did not beg, so I guess you can choose.
Mm.
South Salt Lake. Okay. I used to live over there. Right by the freeway.
Mm.
Welcome. Speaking of long journeys, do you recognize this card? Unless that's just your actual legal Christian name. I shall name this child
Long Journey Smith.
Long Journeys Silver.
I just read this book, Breakfast with Buddha, that I also think is pretty pertinent to these times.
Do they show up for the appointment, see him in the street, and kill him on the spot?
Exactly.
That's what Buddha
just like you
said.
Looks like we have a Venmo super chat to read.
On the railroad, what does Breakfast with Buddha say?
Ooh, Rachel said, hello, could you do a reading for the group? We did already do one, but I'm happy to do another one. Should we do it from my alchemy? Yeah. I think Rachel actually said there's a longer comment. I missed some of it. Could you do a reading from the group from Sam's deck? You guys like my deck better?
Yeah, it's less esoteric, more accessible. Sorry, I'm just chewing away from the mic. Minnesotan. Someone who watched our Provost Most Alterable video said that they were also a Sasquatch enthusiast living in Canada. I was like, is that why they call it Saskatchewan? Saskatchewan?
You don't have me with the Sasquatch jokes.
We're gonna get you on the train.
Good luck.
You know what they say about guys with big feet?
Yeah.
Big shoes. And it's gonna be so hard to fill them when he passes. But Little Bigfoot is gonna do so well. Even despite.
I saw a comment a while ago. I can't remember, let's go back and find it, but someone was like, oh, it seems like people who leave Mormonism always get into like tarot and blah, blah, blah as forms of spirituality. Is that common? And I just want to reiterate our approach to tarot, which is like, it's just a spiritual tool. It's just a tool. It's just like, you don't have to believe that some like deity is dictating the card you pull. It's just like whatever you pull, have a little think about what it might mean in your life. Sometimes it can feel like you get some pretty timely messages, and that's just nice.
Yeah.
But you could, it's not like a religion or something I feel beholden to in any way.
I think the impression I had as a Latter-day Saint, and that I think when I've interacted with Latter-day Saints before about tarot, the impression is like, okay, we're going to read these cards and tell you your future.
Mm-hmm.
And you can do things like that. It's not so much as like tell your future as, like Sam said, a tool for self-reflection. So, noticing the symbols and then reflecting back to you yourself. Like I use them as a journal prompt. Like, okay, what things am I walking away from? What things am I walking to? What challenge? This is like the last card we did. What challenges am I anticipating at the onset of this journey? And so it doesn't have to be. It can be as mystical or non-mystical as you want it to be.
Also, I just have to highlight Georgia in Toronto listening while I steam clean my bathroom. I am such a steam cleaning bitch. Like getting my steam cleaner was like one of the best purchases I've ever made. And I really mean that.
I was making music with Drew yesterday, and Ellen was steam cleaning a carpet, and I almost wanted to leave and go steam clean. I was like, that sounds so fun.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I heard she rented a carpet cleaner. Yeah. I also have a little green machine carpet cleaner. Well, there's more for small rugs.
What about a medium rug? Medium rug?
You could do it. It's just kind of a lot. It's labor intensive.
All right. Do you have any tumbled rocks to show us, by the way? You've been tumbling for a long time. That thing is still going.
Secret.
All right.
Secret rocks.
These are my secret rocks. All right. New card?
Yes. This is for Rachel. But it's for all of us.
The sword.
Ooh. The sword. The knife, the blade, the weapon. To use the sword is to decide. The blade separates one reality from another. The choice is made and all else falls away. If you find the sword in your grasp, you can no longer hesitate. This weapon requires a clear and decisive mind and a willingness to act. An onlooker may think the sword bearer is hasty and violent, but the most compassionate and responsible gesture is one that is honest, swift, and accurate. Our first encounter with the sword is at birth, when the cord we share with mother is cut.
In my head, I was like, when we got circumcised. I guess first things first.
This moment defines our separation from her and begins our journey of becoming ourselves. We must make these cuts again and again if we are to grow. Decisions shape our life, and the sword is an infamous shaper of destiny. It says, when this card is light, cutting through to what is essential. When dark, hasty, backstabbing, a dull and painful blade. Contemplate the Buddhist philosophy of the first and second arrow. I always do. Swing the sword once. I'm always hitting myself with those second arrows. I just love it. Live for it.
The second arrow has hit.
Swing the sword once with precision and commitment. More than that will be painful for everyone involved. Boundary making, prioritizing, and clarifying are all gestures made possible by the sword. The sword, guys, is a metaphor for the pen and the brush, the artist's fierce and graceful tools.
This is what I was going to say on the subject. In this tarot, the swords is one of the suits, and like cups represent your emotional world. The sword represents the mind and the utils and tools of logic and reason and language, and how those are our best weapons, as it were. And for like heart-centered people who are trying to fight on the side of good, of improving the world with better ideas, better ways of doing things, more compassion and all that, our language and our rhetoric and our creations become the tools that we use to do that, to literally cut through the wheat and the chaff, not of people, but of ideas. and to surgically remove the bad ideas from the corpus of knowledge and the human collective psyche. So yeah, it doesn't have to be always so like, I mean, it's not like violence and warfare and terror. It's like, at least in the way that it relates to that. So yeah, I'm glad I brought that up, the artist tools.
And we have another super chat from Becca who said, I'm getting married next month. Congrats. And the happiness of that is jarring next to the backdrop of the horrors, focusing on feeling grateful rather than guilty. Thankful for both of you.
Oh,
thank you so much for sending that and also for sharing that.
Send a super chat with a wedding budget.
I know. Seriously, thank you. And you, obvious point, should not be feeling guilty at all. It's like love and commitment and all those things matter no matter what's going on in the world. And yeah, I think, as much as I'm not like a marriage girly myself, I think it's beautiful to be like honoring a union consciously like that. And like now more than ever, honestly.
Was that our last stream or a video recently? We were talking about that. Like, yeah, I'm not married. I'm not at this point in my life super interested in it, but I love weddings.
But we will come to your wedding.
I love the idea of it. And I love monogamous birds. I think they're so precious.
Monogamous birds?
Yeah.
And slutty birds.
And slutty birds too. We love all the birds, but I do love a good wedding.
I saw an owl last night,
You
very
saw an
close to
owl
me under
here?
a moonlit sky as I was sitting by the river.
Hoo!
I know, true. I was sitting on a blanket by the river. It was pretty light, even though it was dark. Even though the moon was only at like 43%. You know, when it's like light and there's a lot of clouds and it kind of feels...
43%.
Yep, I looked it up. Neurodivergent. Just kidding. Yeah, and I saw this owl fly into this branch, like pretty close to me. And then it was there for a while and then it flew away.
Oh. So how many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop?
Is that the wisdom that an owl... What's that got? Is that... I didn't grow up with Tootsie.
You weren't brainwashed as a child?
My first cat was called Tootsie, but not because of the candy. We didn't have that in England.
It's because of the what's his name movie? Dustin Hoffman movie. Did you ever see Chitty Chitty Bang Bang as a child?
Of course.
Okay. Cool.
Is Dustin Hoffman in that?
Nope. It's just been coming a lot, and they have that song Toot Sweet, which just only sounds like Tootsie, and it's been in my head for a week. So
Straight away.
Just tangential. The neurodivergence of it all.
Owls are Athena, right? What that means?
Oh yeah, the goddess Athena. They're a symbol of her. That's right. Owls are so cute and pretty.
I actually find them very scary to look at. Like I actually can't. I wrote a poem about this owl, and I had to look up an image. So there's something. It's the same with toads that like I get like a panic response when I see like a certain type of picture of an owl. It's almost like, you know, people have when they see like holes, tiny holes.
I don't even want to think about it.
That's kind of me with like the coloring of an owl. Something about an owl triggers like that where it's just like, ooh.
Interesting.
So it was actually quite hard to find an image for this Substack. I had to Google like silhouette of an owl in the dark. And even then I saw stuff I did not want to see.
What strange phobia do you have? What gives you an unreasonable ick? I wish it wasn't too late for coffee, but I was tossing and turning till like 4 a.m. this morning. So
tough.
I do yearn for it.
Well, we are approaching an hour. So just sort of depending on how the super chats go, we can go for as little or as long as we want.
I've really been diving into myth lately. All this stuff Christianity tried to bury.
Women Who Run with the Wolves. One of my faves.
Gives me an unreasonable ick.
That's reasonable, actually.
Yeah.
Owls, they've done nothing wrong to me, but those guys...
Yeah, I really struggle with spirit voice in all denominations because I have experienced it elsewhere.
The New Age voice?
The New Age one.
I almost hate that one the most.
With the Latter-day Saints, I'm like, forgive them, Father. They know not what they do.
Yeah, but then I'm like, Georgia, I'm afraid of butterflies and moths because I hate direct flight patterns.
They are unpredictable. And especially a moth, they get all like dusty on you. I do not want moth dust, even though I do on some level like moths.
Butterflies and moth, that's like a pretty common one, right? Like
bugs in general.
Yeah.
Though usually a lot of people have made this observation, but there's like one like famous quote about how nature, maybe it's like Nietzsche or Kafka or somebody, Friedrich Kirk, talked about how nature, morals have like an aesthetic preference, or at least our human morality has an aesthetic preference, that you feel worse killing a butterfly than you do a moth, and you feel worse killing a ladybug than you do literally any other kind of beetle.
And you buy meat that cows and pigs, who are just as sentient as dogs, were brutally tortured their entire lives to produce, when most of us don't need it. Yeah. Sorry.
In some cases, yeah.
Yeah.
Factory farming.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, which is how most people eat. Understandably for certain reasons, but also, yeah. Chickpeas are only 58 cents at Kroger right now.
But you'd think, based on aesthetic alone, the cows would get a better pass because they're cute as shit.
I love cows.
A cow, is just a giant puppy in my mind. Got me thinking about cows again and again.
I caught a sphinx moth in a jar. It was a bitch to catch because it was flying all over the place, couldn't project it. My toxic trait is I was babysitting recently, and this little 7-year-old boy had made this like cardboard box, and he was like, he had, I think it was snails. He was like, was it snails or was it slugs? But he was like, I got these snail slugs. And I was like, okay, well, what's your plan for like feeding them or like making sure they have what he needs and they need? And he was like, I don't know. And I was like, maybe you should put them back outside then, because otherwise I was trying to teach a lesson. I'm just like this. I have to just like it about myself, rather that I can see why it's annoying to people, but I'm just like this. I will try and teach about animal abuse. I'm like, well, if you don't know what it eats and you don't know how to take care of it, you should put it back outside, because otherwise it's just going to die under your care. And he did, but I think he likes me less for it. So I don't know.
Those lessons are much better than like elaborate hoaxes on your children to terrify them. That's why you always leave a note.
And that's why you never touch your own body in a way that feels too good.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that on my drive over here. In fact, like the just the recognition of sentience, and even like in various Native American cultures where they're still eating animals, they're hunting, there's like a baseline recognition, the beingness and the sentience and individuality of other animals on this planet, and a respect for life in all its forms. Yeah. And that can be found in various branches of Christianity and even Mormonism too. Mm-hmm. But I'd say, at least in my experience, there was like a more prevalent, like, it's fun to kill animals. And I think I encountered that a bit more.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Sorry, I did the wrong one. My friend gets on people for the same thing, Sam. I really respect her perspective. Actually, you own a pet, you're responsible for another creature's well-being. Yeah. Yeah.
So what will Oaks do? Is the question. Well, I think he's going to definitely, it seems like they all just like double down on their personal pet projects that they've had in mind over the years. And he's always been. And
with a name like down homophobic Oaks, like, of course, that's what you're going to become.
He's a lawyer and interested in like traditional families, even though they're not that traditional invention.
And Mormons do not get to talk about that. I'm sorry, but they don't.
I know, right? It's like, it's been interesting to see. Oh my God, all the finger pointing and the little tribalisms, because you've got like, big MAGA thing, and not everybody is like, and there's so much like infighting among the various personalities within that blanket, as well as the left and everybody else. But what was I going to say about that? Oh, just the way that like Mormonism fits into that, where it's like, where Charlie Kirk was a person who at least at some point was a member of the church, but raised in a Mormon family. And
wasn't that gay club shooter years ago raised Mormon as well?
Yeah, Colorado one. And then how that was that, and then the shooting in Michigan was Trump like immediately was like, this shows the rise of attacks on Christianity, and it was like Trump America flags on his back, and was like a Trump order, and
was he?
Yeah, and he thought that he was
he a Christian who hated Mormons for being?
Yeah, so it's like, I mean, I don't know the Christian. I've not seen that confirmed, but it doesn't seem like, or some people are at least wondering if it's like related to like the people who killed Charlie Kirk, Mormons, the people who, even though like obviously he would reflect most saying like normal midstream Mormons as like,
like shooting was maybe a response to the Charlie Kirk thing.
Like the Antichrist, according to a lot of Christians. And so there's this like really tenuous alliance where Mormons right now, I think, are trying to be like, hey, we're Christians too, and we're this battle against the war on Christianity and religious persecution, when it's literally just like trans people existing is like threatening to them because they can't legally discriminate and they feel disempowered and afraid.
Right.
But yeah, just interesting, those little like alliances, as well as the rebrand of under Russell's leadership of trying to make the church seem more mainstream, even changing like the LDS symbol on the Google Maps to be a cross, even though Mormons have like passionately disavowed the cross as a Christian symbol their whole existence.
Well, they probably know that's what will help them have more political power.
Totally. I've seen a lot of Mormons wearing crosses now. It's just interesting.
I harbor such a secret desire to get a cross necklace, and I can't go into it.
I wear cross earrings, like Billy Idol style.
Thank you to Allison for the Venmo super chat. I really appreciate you being here and for that. Yeah, I wonder if he will continue Nelson's obsession with temple building.
I'm sure.
Temple building.
I bet he will. Like, the real estate angle is like a huge part of the church. Like an investment firm, a real estate firm, and then a religion. It
is interesting how each prophet has to like have their thing. But like right before they become the prophet, they have to be super like in line with whatever the current prophet is doing as like the second in command or whatever. And then it's like immediately like, okay, what's my thing?
There have been some examples in Mormon presidents where they've become a bit more tempered as they ascend to higher leaderships. I think because they feel more responsibility and like a desire to not be as controversial in maybe ways they get away with as apostles, because they feel like their main thing needs to be more unity and polished PR from the figurehead. But I think that would go away rapidly whenever Bednar ascends, and Oaks could be a deviation from that pattern as well, as he has seemed really passionate through the years about making some pretty heinous claims and doing some pretty heinous things against queer people, initiating spying campaigns at BYU to out and expel queer students, then lying about it on record. Always advocating for, he's the one who said that thing like, if we allow homosexuality to persevere in society, we would lose our, we would like, basically the population would decline to nothing within a matter of generations. And it's like, what? That is so outlandish. How can someone who's like been to college make that kind of slippery slope claim? Like, that's just literally absurd. Like, queer people are a minority and likely always will be. Like, there's always going to be straight people. And so to be like, if we allow it to persist, like it's this disease, and they do talk about it like a disease, or like Charlie Kirk did, like an addiction, that if we don't stamp it out and legally disempower it, then everyone will catch it, and then society will just instantly doom. They're trying to turn everybody gay. It's like, even if they did turn a lot of people gay, like you'd still have, again, queer people, and you'd still have bisexual people, right?
It's
That's
really
just by erasure.
I know this is such an obvious point, but it's like kind of just blowing my mind. Imagine like the prophet that just died being 100 years old. I'm like, being born in like 1920s, and you were running this global church into. It's not that different. Like, that is nuts to think of someone being born in the 30s.
Yeah. Living through World War II. Oh, he was.
This is nothing but just like someone come to buy erasure, and I just like laughed in my head at the notion of like a Mormon caring about buy erasure.
Your homophobia is by erasure. That's the big problem I have with it. It's about me. I should be bigoted against too.
I don't really know much about, or I never really knew anything about Charlie Kirk, but sometimes I would see just like some little like 19-year-old go up against him and be like, that's by erasure, or like that kind of thing. And I'm like, oh, honey, this is not going to go well for you. He truly doesn't care. Thank you
Sorry. Say thank you first.
Thank you to Rabina. Always nice to have you in the streams. A general vibe reading from Tanner's deck for the balance. Thanks for being a moment of chill with everything. Thank you for being a moment of money with everything. Sorry, I've been eating all of these.
Yeah, me too. All right, pick one. Pick a card, any card.
Ooh, heavenly.
We're back on our cup business. This kind of seems like, oh my God, the last one was 8 of Cups. Is that right? This is the 7 of Cups.
Whoa. What are the chances?
What are the chances? Just went away. Now these cups look full as shit. There's all kinds of stuff going on. I can get it.
You guys weren't righteous enough.
Try in your
Hi,
next
Jared. Welcome to this being a
reincarnation.
live stream. You are on live television right now. Do not say anything that could be held against you in a court of the law.
Yeah, but anything illegal
heaven.
to say, save it for afterward.
Heaven is blurry. We needed them.
So these cups have all kinds of things in it. Got a little blue head, a ghost, or someone with just some linens over them, a snake. Watch out. You have a snakeophobia, right?
Yeah.
As do a lot of people and primates and creatures in general. We've developed
a bit better. I do think there's something, there's a coloring thing to it. It's like, because certain snakes I'm completely fine about.
Owls, the patterns.
Yes, exactly. There's some kind of, and also it's that I had this recurring dream when I was young, and there was this specific there was this like evil sort of like world or like bad vibe people, and they all wore this certain kind of brown, and I just think there might be something there. I don't know. Carry
on. Got a castle, got some like what looked like jewels, a laurel wreath, and a dragon. Oh, the laurel wreath also has like a tiny little skull underneath it. Interesting. So this deck, which is like the pretty classic tarot deck from back in the day, it was meant to be a visual way of communicating and reflecting, like I said. So I know a lot of people like and happy to look up what other people have said about it, but I think one of the cool things about it is that it really is like very DIY. Anybody, you don't have to know like the esotericism of it all. You can just look at it and be like, what the fuck does this mean? Well, what does that mean? What does that mean to me? If
Choices.
what's a ghost that's showing up in my emotional world? How does a snake, this symbol of, in many cultures, of death, of rebirth, of reincarnations, shedding old skins and old paradigms, both connected to poison, venom, as well as healing, because so much of our development of medicine has been as an antidote to that. So there's been like, what's the word, like toxicology or venomology and medicine have always gone hand in hand. To the points of sometimes being like illegal, like people are like, oh, that witch has all these poisons and evil things. And it's like, yeah, but she's just trying to figure out how to heal as well. Anyway, how does this like tall tower on a rocky outcrop, like what is that with your in your emotional world? And it's interesting how these appeared on a cloud. Like it's kind of like this vision that's being experimented. Someone taking stock and inventory of all the ways that their emotional world is occupied by these various archetypes, by this little baby dragon, which is this new baby dragon that's growing, this wreath that is like a crowning achievement that's also a symbol of death. What is this emotional ghost that's right there in the middle? Something from the past.
What's your emotional ghost, guys?
Yeah, hit us with your...
Just drop it in the trauma dump right
your
now.
EG.
Your EG.
Your spook. Where's your treasure? Yeah.
Can I read this?
Yes.
It says the Seven of Cups symbolizes choices, opportunities, and options, but often warns against wishful thinking, illusions, and being overwhelmed by temptation. This card depicts a figure surrounded by various choices in cups, which can represent dreams, fantasies, or potential paths. It urges the querent to use wisdom and discernment to distinguish between genuine opportunities and fleeting illusions before making a decision.
And it is interesting that it's right before the journey here. So dude saw these 7 cups and we're like, you know what? I'm drinking them all, leaving a cup behind and finding some new cups.
This is interesting. Just a fun fact from The Wandering Heretic. The toxins some sea snakes secrete to paralyze their prey have become human brain drugs. Chemist here, haha.
Interesting.
Love when there's a chemist in the chat.
Yeah. I love people who have such specific knowledge about things. And don't we all?
Thanks for the reading. Deaf going through a moment of figuring out what I want with everything, including country hopping.
Oh, yeah.
Every day I'm like, about country hopping.
Do I need to get out of here? Do I need to relocate? Might pop up to Vancouver soon. Do we got any Vancouverites in the chat? Or people who have been there? Tell me where to go.
I think this might be... Oh, although someone just said surprise live stream, so now I feel bad, but this might be where I need to leave you guys.
Oh, you hate to be the one who walks in at the party. You walk in and everyone's like, it's actually time to go. We're out of here. You're like, oh no, I just deflated this whole thing. That wasn't you. This is not your fault, okay? This has nothing to do with you. Mommy and Daddy
love you very much, despite what you've done. I think this has been nice. I think it's nice to just come together.
Right now, over me.
Well said.
Does anyone want to hear the rest of that a cappella rendition of Come Together? Because I'm happy to indulge.
If
going twice.
You're watching this live stream and you're like, oh no, I want to watch these guys for longer, then we have 4 episodes of us reading Christian fantasy up on our Patreon, and it is a fun journey. And we do kind of talk about the state of the world in those episodes, but we have a really nice time. Yeah.
More comedy heavy.
We always bring it home to just Christian kids fiction, which is it's kind of a fun, lighthearted read. So yeah. Join our Patreon. We lose, John DeLynn every episode is like, we lose donors every month. And so if we don't replace them, we have to cut back on operations. And I'm like, yeah, we should start saying that. But it's
we're going to have to cut back on operations. We're going to have to not accept free treats anymore.
But we're already a completely threadbare operation. So I'm like, I don't know how we could cut back anymore, to be honest. But yeah, I guess getting real jobs and then not making the videos every week, which is that's always lurking in the background. So yeah, join our Patreon. Or watch our Claymation podcast. That's free. Or our excellent John DeLynn impression. I wouldn't say so. Or our Mormon Bachelor video, because we will be doing episode 2. So you're going to kind of want to just be in on that with us.
I am genuinely excited to do episode
Today was the
2.
first time I just like watched the episode as a viewer. Like, and I was like, that was actually so fun. Except for the annoying buzzing.
I was going to say this earlier. I think we should manifest a collaboration with Remington. I do believe that we could be his Noah Miller and what's her name? Hammond. What's her name? Allison Hammond.
Yeah.
We're them to him. We'd be the perfect triad.
We'd be the perfect triad with Remington.
Mediocre American Bake Off, and we gets a sponsor, Bundt Cake sponsors. We could do it. I believe in us.
Yeah, me too.
He's done the dating shows, now the cooking shows or something. Or something. Right, guys? Am I off base here?
I just want to get gritty with him. I'm like, just tell me about yourself.
I think he strikes me as someone who's down to clown and, is just trying to put out some engaging literally engaging content.
Me rejecting John DeLynn for Zelf, just like when I'm at Petco and reject donating to other pets. John, in your defense, Lindsay, and ours, John DeLynn is a non-profit. He gets a lot of like bigger donations, obviously, because why would rich people give to a non-tax write-offable situation? So we really just need like regular peasants helping us out because all the people with money are supporting him. But also, Mormon Stories does a really great job, so yeah, they deserve it.
They're doing good work.
They're doing good work. Oh, well, love you all. This has been great. We will be, well, you won't see the video tomorrow, but tomorrow we're filming that second episode of Mormon Bachelor. We'll probably be back for a live sometime in the next week.
We probably don't have the streaming capability yet to watch it and react to it live. Would that ever be an interest or not?
I think just look it up. Let's find out.
We could maybe do it on OBS instead.
The onty thing stopping us is researching it.
Fear itself.
The only thing, yeah.
A good guy with a gun.
Well, actually, it's kind of crazy that a good guy with a gun was helpful in that chapel shooting.
Really?
He was what I think. I might be wrong. I might have been the police. Sorry if I said that wrong. That's just what Josh Kim told me.
Or a suicide?
No, I don't think. I actually just delete everything I said because I don't know what was true. Okay. Great live stream, everyone. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for joining. Thanks for commiserating. I love you.
May all your dreams be nice.
Yes.
Bye.
The nice ones come true.
So hard to say goodbye.